Mr. Chairman, members, and dear friends, it has been said that even armies cannot resist an idea whose time has come. I address you today as someone who truly believes that democracy in Singapore is an idea whose time has come. It is the idea of a people empowered, the idea of a society politically vibrant and dynamic, and the idea that the citizens no longer wish to live in a state of PAP exploitation. Ideas that loom large on the horizon of this nation. As a party, we must see this vision and we must grab it for the people. We must point our fellow citizens in the right direction and encourage them to take it. In other words, we must lead. But alas, in order to lead, we must also be the ones to make the sacrifices, without which change will never come. And this is why the SDP is in the position that we are in today. We have been the target of PAP's persecution and abuse, so much so that many have left us for dead. Or in the words of our minister mentor, kaput. But rather than be discouraged, we take pride in the knowledge that only those by whom Lee Kuan Yew feels threatened will he try to crush. For this reason, we wear our battle scars with the PAP state machinery as badges of honor. Every oppressive measure the government takes against us is one more reason for us to carry on our struggle. For out of the political crucible will emerge a party steeled in its resolve and steeped in the values of democracy. The results are already beginning to show. Our ranks have grown over the past year, especially after the last general election, largely by reaching out through the internet. Because of our stand, our activities, and our can-do spirit, we have had many Singaporeans, especially younger Singaporeans, joining the party. And mind you, this is despite all the attacks the PAP has heaped upon us. To those of you who have found the courage to stand with us, I salute you. And one reason why people decide to commit to the SDP is because we have been a party of principles, democratic principles, not opportunism. We have been unafraid to define ourselves clearly and to tell Singaporeans unambiguously who we are, what we stand for, and where we want to take this nation. We have staked out our positions clearly on the various issues, be they ministerial salaries or the mandatory death sentence, or the discrimination of minority groups. We have advocated these issues with logic and gusto. Of all these issues, however, the one I feel most passionately about is the economic well-being and welfare of our people. As long as I am Secretary General, this party will not stand by and keep quiet when our elderly and poor have to rummage through the rubbish dumps to find scraps of leftover food while our Prime Minister lavishes himself with a salary of $10,000 a day. As long as I'm Secretary General, we will speak up when hospital fees and polyclinic charges increase while wages for our workers continue to plummet. As long as I am Secretary General, we will call the attention of the people to the government increasing the GST while losing billions of dollars of public money in debacles like the Shencorp deal and the University of New South Wales campus crash. As long as I am Secretary General, we will campaign actively against the unthinking and indiscriminate opening of the gates to foreigners to displace Singaporeans from the jobs. This horrendous exploitative foreign talent policy must be called for what it is: a policy that uses the vulnerable to make the vulnerable even more vulnerable. Singaporeans increasingly see the value of the SDP because we have been unafraid to confront the PAP. Some say the SDP has been too confrontational. To them, I say that when you find yourselves in your retirement without income, when your aging parents or children end up in hospital and you don't have enough money to pay the bill, when you find your reserves siphoned off to pay for failed government-linked companies, you'll be wishing that someone had confronted the PAP earlier and harder. The truth is that we seek reasoned confrontation. Confrontation with ideas, not violence. And confrontation with the truth and with facts. It is righteous and peaceful confrontation that we seek. But confront we must. An opposition that seeks not to confront the ruling party, a despotic ruling party, I might add, is an opposition party not worthy of support. Because such a party knows neither the courage nor the honesty to serve the people. And without these core values of courage and honesty, a party cannot become a good government. It is tempting to keep our heads down so as not to incur the wrath of Lee Kuan Yew, and through that gain the acceptance and approval of the Straits Times, Liang He Zhao Bao, so that they will report favorably about us, and then maybe, just maybe, get enough votes to squeeze into Parliament. We must eschew such an approach. We must not adopt the strategy of trying to appease the powers that be in the hope of getting into Parliament. If we do that, we will be beholden to the PAP. This will benefit only the party, and for that matter, only a few in the party. It certainly will not benefit the people whom we claim to serve. If the SDP is going to get into Parliament, we will get into Parliament on the power of the people, not the patronage of the PAP. With the election system completely in the hands of the PAP, getting elected in sufficient numbers to form an alternative government is like trying to climb a mountain on roller skates. We are fooling ourselves. Worse, we are fooling the people into thinking that the opposition can win enough seats to make a difference. Now, before the elections in May last year, I was invited with other opposition parties to speak at a forum organized by the National University of Singapore Society. I told the audience at that time, and mind you, this was before the elections in May last year, I told the audience that during the campaign period, the PAP will pretend to be fighting for its life. And after polling day, the media will run this headline: PAP achieves a resounding victory. And then the party will claim its mandate, and then it's back to politics as usual. In this case, dictatorship as usual. Did things not turn out exactly the way that I had described? From the point of the people, what has changed? The only thing that changed is the non-constituency member of Parliament.